And you are recording.
Hello. Yes, we are now recording. So hello, welcome everybody. I want to welcome you to, what is this, our fifth monthly meeting of the Virginia Plastic Pollution Prevention Network. We are recording this is our sixth. We are recording this Zoom meeting, which members in the future can watch by going to our website. I also wanted to encourage you to use the chat box to ask any questions. And let's see, how many people do we have on the call so far? 17. Do we want to, Christina, have them register or put their name and organization?
Yeah, let's have everyone put your name in the chat room, name and organization. And if you're not a member on the website yet, go ahead and put your email. Because we are starting to only communicate through the website. So if you're not a member, you're not going to get our invites. So we just want to make sure we include everyone and everyone is getting our correspondence. We do have a few new people on here.
Yeah, so since we have a few new people, I'll go ahead and do what I usually do. First of all, I'm Katie Register with Clean Virginia Waterways, one of the co-founders of the network, along with Christina Trapani and the Virginia Coastal Zone Management Program. They also helped co-found this network. Just a reminder that the network seeks to foster cooperation, communication, and information sharing, as well as collaboration amongst groups that are working to prevent plastic pollution in the state of Virginia. And it's a free membership open to anybody. We do have a website which has got lots of resources on it, and we're hoping that you as members will use the website to share so that the public also can learn about your resources. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Christina, who I guess will ask new members to give a real brief introduction of themselves and their organization.
Okay, so I see a few names that I don't recognize and one that I do recognize. So we'll start with Lacey. Lacey, if you want to just do a quick intro, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. It's nice to be a part of this group. This is something that I'm passionate about and have worked and known Christina for many, many years in various capacities. So I'm honored to be part of the group. And Katie, it's nice to put a face to a name. I've corresponded with you for many years with trash cleanups.
Right.
And so nice to meet you. I am the executive director for the Chesapeake Humane Society. And while we don't have a wildlife program officially under us, we do work with many wildlife rehabbers. So the plastics, small plastics, and the balloon debris that ends up in our waterways and consumed by wildlife is something that we see quite often. And so that's something that we do take a stance on with legislative items. I'm also an HSUS Humane Society of the United States district leader, and the balloon bill that's before the legislation this year is something that we are advocating on behalf of as well. I serve as a board member for the Chesapeake Environmental Improvement Council, and I am chair of the Litter and Pollution Prevention Committee, and we talk very much about plastic pollution, and we host a few cleanups, community cleanups throughout the year. At least 4, sometimes more. And that committee will not be taking a stance as an organization on any legislative items, but I will be individually, just not as a chair of the EIC. And then outside of COVID times, I generally organize a green drinks meetup, which meets once a month. And we have various speakers. I've been doing that since I think 2009 timeframe. So it's been going on for years. Unfortunately, we haven't been meeting as a group this past year, but hopefully 2021 we'll be able to meet eventually again. But that's a great group. Christina often comes. She's often a speaker for me on different environmentally related topics. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Anna W. This is your first meeting, isn't it?
Yes, hi. Yes, my name is Anna Wood. I'm here representing the Virginia Bottle Bill organization. I'm really excited to be here. Currently, we're just trying to gain some support, obviously, for a bottle bill, bottle deposit or container deposit system. We're just trying to reduce single stream recycling, try to provide a cash incentive for people to help the environment, and just encourage VA residents to, be more environmentally conscious. I'm just really excited to be a part of this network and hopefully meet some new people and create some new connections. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Anna.
Welcome.
Let's see. Anna Crockett, have you been on this meeting before?
Yes, I sure have. I'm happy to say this is about my third meeting. So
Okay,
happy to be.
great. How about if you haven't been to one of these meetings before, you put your little hand up under reactions. There's a way to wave your hand. Oh, Melody, I see your hand. Your real hand. You're on mute, Melody. Melody, you're on mute.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I think I came late at the last meeting, so this is my first meeting starting out. And I really appreciate you guys being here. A year and a half ago, I was with a couple of friends and we decided to keep plastic for a month. And then we had our pile of plastic and it was in the newspaper, and we ended up starting the Shenandoah Green from that. And then as part of that initiative, I went to the VMI, to the engineering department, and they built us a life-size whale. That the same dimensions as the whale that washed up on the Philippines with a stomach full of plastic. And so we have used that, and since I am now working out of Lexington with RAC, Rockridge Area Conservation Council. And but when the only 5 months that we had Flippy, kids, and the kids named that, it went to every week since it was built. It went to elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and for a week. And we had plastic curriculum, pollution curriculum that went with it. It just went viral. I mean, it was an extremely popular way to get the message out. And then COVID happened, so it all stopped. But anyway, I'm interested. In Lexington, I'm hoping to do a plastic-free or July in Lexington this summer. So I'm passionate about this subject. So
Thanks for coming today, Melody.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Nikki Holm, I saw your hand up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki Holm, and I am the Assistant Director of Clean Valley Council in Roanoke, Virginia. A few faces that I put to names. Melody, I know we've met, and a couple others. Katie, of course, it's wonderful to put a face to the name after all these years. And we're also the Southwest coordinators for Cape Virginia Beautiful. And glad to be here and to do more.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nikki.
Anybody? I see your hand is up too.
Sorry, did you say Yvonne?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I am excited to be a part of the Virginia Plastic Purge group. Sorry, I think I got that wrong. What's the name of it? Tell me.
Plastic Pollution Prevention
There we go.
Network, but I like the plastic purge too.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's so many. I get them all mixed up. But I kind of have a wild background with my interest in being a part of this group. I'm actually a Coast Guard captain, and I teach sailing lessons. And my first interest, I have twofold. My interest is twofold. The first is to get the business that I work for out of Little Creek, Bay Point Marina, to have more plastic friendly, like getting rid of single-use plastics on board our boats, and incorporate picking up plastic around the marina as it gets in the water, before it gets in the water, and just getting an overall, everybody's paying more attention to doing something about plastic. The second thing is I've also, most recently, we just got our LLC last week. I'm part of a team putting together a charter company that will take people out to investigate the Chesapeake watershed. And so we'll take people up, probably scouting, homeschooling groups. Hopefully we can get into a little bit corporate, but taking people up to the lower Shenandoah, talking about water quality and then plastic mitigation. And so maybe a part of ours is doing a bit of a plastic pickup, but then we're also looking at water quality, taking samples, STEM, citizen science, all these ideas together. But you know, that's a lot to pack into a 10-day package. So I was hoping to coordinate with other groups around the area that could help us with what do we do with the plastic, maybe help with picking it up and taking it to a place that it could be thrown away or recycled or other clever ideas. And then also to coordinate with somebody around the Little Creek area as well to do something with plastic and just kind of know what's going on with initiatives that are already there, because don't want to reinvent the wheel. And of course, there's always a certain synergy that happens when you get with other folks that have same ideas.
And what county are you in?
Okay, so that's another crazy part. I actually live in Arlington, Virginia. So, so I teach a little bit out of Annapolis, and then I take some time down, and that's where the charter business will also be down in Little Creek. So I'm just kind of all over the place. I have talked to folks Arlington, here at Arlington, about their plastic initiatives here. I've heard you got some, I know there's some people working in the Shenandoah area. I watched one of the other webinars, so it'd be great to connect there. And then, so your question is maybe where is the marina? Is that what?
Right, Little Creek?
Little Creek. Okay, so Little Creek is near Virginia Beach. It is, let's see, how else can I do? Norfolk. The address is Norfolk. And I mean, I guess just the Bay Point Marina is the name of the marina, and there's a big joint base there, Little Creek. And I've talked to people at the Elizabeth River Project, and I think Lynn Haven now is pretty close to where we are.
Okay.
And so that's kind of our area.
Yeah, I was just a little confused when you said Little Creek and then Shenandoah. I thought,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
another
okay. So
I
the
don't know.
trip, I know that is confusing. So the trip is to look at the whole watershed as a whole, like a whole ecosystem. So we get people up where the water's coming from, have a look around, and then bring them down to the lower end of the Chesapeake and have a look around. And what happens up here, how it affects what's going on down there.
Great. Well, welcome. Sounds
Thank
so.
you.
All right. Anyone else with a hand up? Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria is going to be one of our guest speakers.
Great. Well, it looks
Yeah.
like we covered everyone else of new members. Before we get to Victoria, just last call. Any people who have not been on the calls before? Give a 1-minute introduction. Okay, Christina.
All right.
Victoria.
We've got Mike Moore on our agenda first, so we'll stick with our agenda. Mike is with Virginia Beach Parks and Rec, and is going to talk to us about cigarette butts and fishing line.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Christina, will I be, or Katie, will I be able to share my screen to show them a few images in this
Yes.
brief synopsis? Okay.
I'll make you a co-presenter. It just takes a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was just going to give everybody a brief synopsis of what we have that kind of do help with plastic prevention or recycling. We have what was started through, I think, VMRC, to be honest with you. VMRC came into the city long before my time frame, and they wanted to install some of the fishing line recycle containers in a few of our sites. And since then, what we've done since COVID is we've looked at our sites, and we have, with the exception of one, every single waterway access site that is in the city of Virginia Beach that is owned by the city of Virginia Beach has a fishing line recycle container in it. The only one that doesn't is, if anybody's familiar with Virginia Beach, is Old Virginia Beach Boulevard, just because it floods out onto the street. And so we just decided, because it was kind of a low profile area that has constant flooding, that we weren't going to put one there. But we have 17 locations with containers. We have 24 total containers at those locations. We have what we've divided with the help of Keep Beachy Clean. Christina has come in. We have 2 designated types of containers. We have saltwater and we have freshwater. And basically they're just, they're defined by their signage. We have informational signage, a blue sign for saltwater and a green sign for freshwater. And the Keep It Beachy Clean paid for all of the blue signs, and the green signs were done so city taxpayer dollars. So I'm going to show you some images, just basically what we have signage wise. That was another emphasis of ours this year, was to really go back and try to educate, not just stick these tubes out there that look like candy canes and have people, you know, say, hey, what are these? So here's a few images. I'm going to share screen. And here is our saltwater. Can everybody see that?
Yes, just
Yeah, so this is our saltwater sign that we have on our containers. This is courtesy of Ms. Trapani and her, or should I say more the entity. This information is somewhat similar to the information we have on what we call our microplastic sign, but this is on all of our saltwater. So like we have 2 that are at Rudy Loop. If anybody's familiar with Rudy Loop, you know, there's a lot of fishing along that trail. So we have 2 up there, one at the Owl Creek Boat Ramp and Beach Facility, other saltwater areas nearby. We have this one, and then we have this one is our freshwater, protect our waterways. This is a standard. Everything in the city of Virginia Beach, at least with Parks and Recreation, has been pretty standardized. So our signage is very similar with our header. And then at the bottom, you've got our footnotes with our email, phone number, all that. But this sign actually came about, long story short, I say Renaissance Academy, but the Old Donation Center, a group of 8th graders usually does a capstone project with us. And part of their capstone, they wanted to do a significant project at some of our sites. We were able to tailor it down to where they created the signage, they came up with the verbiage, and then our marketing department created this sign right here. That is a stock image. That's not a bird from this area, but that is a stock image we're allowed to use. So this is the information that was basically created from their project. So this is on our freshwater locations. And then this is what they typically look like. If I can find it. Oh, nope. Sorry, I must have deleted the show all windows. It's not up. So fishing line, you know, some of the issues that we have with our fishing line containers, a lot of people just use it for trash, but you know, at least we're taking that trash and disposing of it properly. But we are finding that they're used pretty heavily. We're emptying them once a month and emptying them more on our saltwater areas when the fishing season is in high. And then on the other side of things, we have our cigarette litter prevention program. We joined with Keep America Beautiful campaign and received a grant about 6 years ago, where we established containers at 3 locations. And we have, so again, 3 locations currently with 19 cigarette containers. We are in a discussion with Surfrider Foundation, where they have already met and voted to agree to the proposal. They have to send it up to their national board, I guess. But they are going to purchase 30 more cigarette containers, and we are going to install them at 5 additional sites. Currently, we have them at Little Island Beach Park and Sandbridge parking facility. Providence Park and ball fields, and then Lake Lawson, Lake Smith. Those were our 3 pilot program areas. So the next 5, if approved, we're going to put them up at Marshview Park because we have a 60-inch outfall that spills directly into Owl Creek. Lynn Haven Boat Ramp and Beach Facility because it's directly right there at the bay. Mount Trashmore due to the size of the site. Beach Garden Park because it too spills directly into the ocean. And then Red Wing because of how the proximity next to the ocean. And I don't have any images for us, but I do have the website I wanted to show you. For those that don't know, this is what they look like for us. This is a wall mount. We actually have them on recycle composite posts, 6x6, 8 foot with 2 foot in the ground. But you can see they're $160 per container. We've gotten actually a little bit better quote from Glaston, and our recycle composite posts are $150 per post. So the amount of money that Surfrider is coming up is pretty substantial. So that is our cigarette litter prevention program and our fishing line program at a nutshell. Christina, sorry if I went over 5 minutes, but I felt that was the quickest I could do it. So
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
One question for you. Who's going to be maintaining, emptying all those trash not trash receptacles, but the cigarette butt receptacles you're putting up?
My staff, Parks and Recreation, is it's part of our environmental programming through our park event programs and special use office, and it's something that we were already doing, and we felt that we could expand the program and make a better difference, even as small as it is. So to your question, my staff, myself, and other individuals will be monitoring, maintaining, and emptying, servicing them, as we say.
Fabulous, thank you. Also, could you show that poster again, the Keep It Beachy Clean sign that goes next to the fishing line recycling? I just wanted to let you all know that these signs were, as you mentioned, provided by the Keep It Beachy Clean program, which is funded by Clean Virginia Waterways. And if those of you in the rest of the state are interested in having a fishing line recycling sign like this, just let us know. Contact either Christina, who runs the program, or myself, and they can be customized with, like, if you see towards the bottom, there's some phone numbers that work if you're in Virginia Beach. But if you're on Lake Anna, obviously you would have different phone numbers. So just call Christina or myself if your local group is interested in trying to recycle fishing line.
Yeah, and here's that one image I wanted to show. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is what it looks like, the container.
We see the sign right now.
You do, let's see. And I'm gonna share here we go. Can you guys see that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna kind of retrofit the old ones with the new post. This is a wood post, but they all are gonna eventually have a 6x6 recycle post, so.
Great, any other questions for Mike before we move on to Victoria?
I do see a question. I don't know if that was for me, but Yvonne asked, can you get the collection cans put somewhere? Was that for me?
I'm not sure.
I think she's
Yvonne,
trying to.
you're on mute.
Sorry, I had technical difficulties. Yes, what I meant was, that wasn't very well said. What I meant was that would be a great thing to have at the marina and all the marinas to have those. And so I guess that I'm assuming you're going to tell me that just go to your website and.
No, no, ma'am. We have to get those. Those containers are really inexpensive to make. You do have to get obviously the larger PVC, but we've been fortunate enough. The program is through Boat US, but VMRC has the container. So we just go to Newport News, and I hope that I'm not throwing her under the bus, but basically our VMRC rep in Newport News has been like, I've got 12, come get them. So during COVID back in the summertime, we took advantage of it and said, hey, do you have any more? She said, yeah, literally, I think she had 8 or 10, and we went and got every single one. And we have every single one put up with the exception of 2. So it was courtesy of VMRC, to be honest with you.
Okay, so if I wanted to at least get one of those, what would I do?
I would just go to the VMRC website or even Boat US. Boat US typically has a link that takes you to VMRC, but I can send you the contact in which we have through Newport News, and then you can see if there's any contact up in your part of the area, in Arlington or Alexandria.
Well, I was thinking of it for Little Creek, so right next to you, really.
Yeah, so Newport News, I'll send you her contact and see, and then you can just reach out.
Okay, and the same for the cigarette butts.
Yeah, the cigarette containers is all private company as far as the containers. We go through Glaston. There are others that are less expensive, but because of our pilot program a few years back, we felt it was, because everything is standardized, we felt it was important to keep with the same standard. And they do work, they are visible, but yeah, that is all. Our containers are through Glaston, GLASDON.
And they're also a company that's based in Virginia near Richmond. So if you're willing to drive, you can pick up and save postage and shipping costs.
Okay. Yeah, that is on the way.
Yeah, and the fishing line, I forgot to mention, which is a good point. We do send off both the cigarette litter collection. They'll do cigarette butts, they'll do cigar tips, and we send them off. They are cataloged, the data is sent to us, and we keep that information for our information that we submit to Keep America Beautiful, for our MS4 permit. It's for us a variety of things, but they keep a record and they send us. It's based on the tracking number when you mail the document or the package. They send it back based on that tracking number. They are used for recycled composite items. The same with the fishing line. The fishing line is sent. It's free of charge. They send you the boxes with already prepackaged labels, and you just put it in the box and send it.
That's so cool. I didn't know you could recycle those.
Yeah.
So Mike, this is Mike Baum, Keep Virginia Beautiful. So you're using TerraCycle for your butts and line?
We are using for the butts, yes.
Yeah.
The line is somewhere, I don't think so, Mike.
Okay.
I think it's somewhere in like Minnesota or somewhere that we're sending, Michigan, somewhere like that. You know what? I'm bad. I don't know that, but
it's okay.
I do not think it's TerraCycle, to be honest with you.
Well, we
No
can
worry. Yeah, I'd like to touch base with you offline, and Tracy, who's on the call, also could. We obviously do a lot with Keep America Beautiful and the cigarette litter prevention program, and a lot of people on this call have gotten grants from us through our 30 and 30 program. But anyway, anybody that we sometimes have receptacles as part of our grant program too. Well, as part of our grant we get from Altria, to be honest, we have receptacles to give sometimes. So if anyone wants to reach out to Tracy or myself, we might be able to help depending on the market.
Sure. And I'm going to be applying for one of those 30 for 30 too. So we saw that this year and we missed the deadline. So, but yeah, thank you. And Yvonne, I'm going to put my email up in the chat so you can just see that and just email me. And then that way we can stay in touch. Same thing, Mike.
Sounds great for everybody. Thank you.
I'm thinking too that we have monthly emails that go out to all members of the network, and we can include in the next one more information on TerraCycle and cigarette butt recycling, as well as the fishing line, which I believe is run through a company that sells fishing line. But if there's no other questions, Christina, would you introduce Victoria?
Sure. So thank you, Mike. Victoria from Nauticus is going to tell us about a new exhibit that's coming to us soon.
Yeah, so my name is Victoria Tolson. I'm the education manager at Nauticus in Norfolk, Virginia, and we're right along the waterfront. We're a very kind of weird museum and sailing center right along the waterfront on the Elizabeth River. So environmental issues specifically related to the water and like marine debris and sea level rise are really big educationally on our campus. So our next traveling exhibit coming to our campus is National Geographic's Planet or Plastic. Would I be able to share as well?
Sure.
Share my
we'll-
screen.
Yeah, we'll make you a co-host. Just takes a second.
You're good. Thank you. So National Geographic's Planet or Plastic is going to be coming to our campus just later this month. From January 30th is our opening day, and then we're going to have it through April 25th. So through Earth Day, I think is a pretty great time to have Planet or Plastic. It is largely a photography-based exhibit. So it is really beautiful and impactful. I love how my internet's not cooperating now. Well, so I'm just going to put the link to our website for the exhibit information, since it's not quite letting me share that. But you can head over to see a little bit more about it. It talks about the creation of plastic, our current reliance on it, and then the environmental impact, as well as actionable steps you can be taking. We're connecting the exhibit throughout our entire campus. So I have been in a lot of contact with Christina to try and arrange other things for our campus. We do a lot with ROVs, so we want to talk about you know, when we're teaching children how to use them, we want to talk about how ROVs have been used to discover trash in the deep ocean. And thank you so much, Christina. Yeah, so the exhibit is really lovely itself, but to heighten it, we're actually going to have specific themed weekends every single weekend of the run. So we can highlight a specific issue or go more in depth on a specific issue. So I'm not going to go through every single one, though I'm very proud of all of them and all of their names. But just to name a few, we are going to have one around Groundhog's Day about breaking the cycle of bad habits. How to identify things that you may be doing that are less environmentally friendly, and then have a nice replacement. So on campus that day, we'll be making DIY t-shirt bags to be able to replace any sort of plastic bags. I am going to have in February, this is the second time we've hosted an Afrofuturism event, but we're going to have an Afrofuturism event focused on Black scientists and science fiction. So that we can highlight that, especially in Norfolk, Virginia, where our communities of color, but specifically Black communities, are much more affected by some of these different pollution and climate change issues. And that is something that is we're well aware of in Norfolk. So we're going to highlight that for one of our weekends. As well as looking towards some of the amazing scientists we have who are working on these different issues. We have a Chesapeake Vacation in April, where we're doing a big cleanup day and highlighting other local environmental projects and cleanups. So we have a pretty packed week where we're trying to connect with, a pretty packed season where we're trying to connect with our community on multiple levels, both on campus, and then we are actually doing some virtual events as well that are free that people can participate in if they can't come to campus or don't feel safe to come to campus. Does anyone have questions about our exhibit or anything that we're doing?
I do, if that's okay. The exhibit looks fantastic and wonderful, and you know, I definitely would tell everybody to go see it. But also the story of plastic. Are you familiar with this documentary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just wondering what National Geographic's take is on that, or is there a connection there, or is this? I was just wondering if there was any sort of collaboration there with that documentary and National Geographic and Nauticus, or could you speak to that?
I don't know if there is. I know that this specific exhibit is really based around, because there's a certain portion that are artistic photographs to highlight what the National Geographic photographers have encountered while in the wild. So that is a portion of the exhibit, is to kind of really capture the extent of what's happening with plastic production and accumulation. There is a whole section that goes through how plastic, every piece of plastic that was created still exists. There is a big section on that, but I don't know. This is the first, this is the premiere of this exhibit in the United States. So we are kind of the test run for this. Prior to us, the last time the exhibit was running was in, man, I'm gonna blank on this and feel bad. I believe Singapore, and it was before the pandemic. So we've already had to alter some of the things about the exhibit. We're adding in a bit of a COVID connection so that people can relate on what they're doing now and actual solutions that they can participate in now safely, as opposed to obviously what Singapore was highlighting prior. Because they had the exhibit through, I believe, February of 2020. So right when the pandemic was becoming really big. So I'm sorry I can't speak to that too much. I would have to actually ask National Geographic what everything was behind their exhibit. But they've been planning it for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, guys, we're kind of falling behind on time here. Thank you, Victoria. I really appreciate that. And I cannot wait to see it. It's going to be, I know it's going to be fabulous. So next on our agenda was going to be Keep Virginia Beautiful, but we're going to catch up with Mark and Jim first, because Mark has to get off the call at 3 about some legislative updates that are going on. General Assembly has started, and we have some bills in motion that we're kind of keeping track of that you all might be interested in finding out what's going on. So Mark, did you want to go ahead and go first? Or Jim?
You're both on mute, I think.
Yep.
Mark out there.
There you go. We hear you.
I'll go if Mark's already, I don't know where Mark is, but so my name is Jim Deppie. I'm with Lynn Haven River now in the Virginia Coastal Alliance. And Christina asked me to give you a quick rundown on the foam bill. Delegate Carr is the patron of the expanded polystyrene bill. Most of you will refer to it as styrofoam. It is a bill that bans the use of polystyrene containers for carry-out foods in Virginia, and it goes into effect for large chain restaurants in 2023 and small businesses in 2025. And it has been through the House Ag Committee, and it passed by a fair margin last week. And so the next place it'll go is to the House floor. The usual opponents to this bill are doing their thing, but they have not gained any traction this year in a meaningful way, mostly because they are touting advanced recycling techniques which don't exist, and are, if they did exist, would be totally unexecutable and unaffordable. So that's not going over well. They're also trying to use carry out during the global pandemic as a justification for styrofoam. And the talking points that Ellie Beamer from Environment Virginia put together counter those arguments quite well. And the environmental community has come on in commenting on this bill in a very strong and powerful way. And so we're optimistic that it's going to pass in a final form this year. Last year it passed, but it was a reenactment clause was added, so it needs to be passed again this year for it to become law. So that's the short and sweet update.
Great. Thank you so much, Jim. This is Katie again. I just got a text message from Mark Schwingle, and he's not able to join us because right now he is on the phone with Ms. Guy, who's the sponsor of the balloon legislation. So that's a very important phone call he's on right now. But there is a way that people can comment, correct, Jim? Right now, like today, they can go and make a comment to the committee about the balloon bill.
Yes, there's a portal. If you go to, golly, let me see if I can see where to go. I think I can share my screen here.
Yeah, we'll make you a co-presenter. Hold on a second. Having trouble here.
I will have to find it real quick.
Hey, everybody. This is Mark Slingle. Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark, we just said that you were on the phone. How did it go?
It went okay. You know, it's politics, so it's kind of it's never clean and easy. But yeah, so I was on the phone with the patron of the bill, Delegate Nancy Guy from the 83rd District, and of the balloon bill, and it's on the agenda for tomorrow morning. I heard you all talking about you can make comments. You know, we could probably put the link in the chat box actually. People could pick it up there, but and also if we could probably just send it out to everybody if you all are on the email. There you go. And you can sign up to speak, but I would at this point I would recommend actually putting in a written comment if you'd like to do that. And that's just because with a short session and it being virtual, they're really limiting the number of speakers. In some cases, only 1 or 2 speakers for any issue. So the reality of getting on board to speak is pretty unlikely. So, but written feedback is good. We have a lot of talking points out there available that we've put out. Hopefully you have seen them. If not, again, Christina can probably put a link to the place where they are.
Right. And when you go to that website, this is what you'll see. Wait a minute, do I have the wrong link? This link to
Yeah, you need to have the link to the subcommittee.
Okay.
The natural resources subcommittee.
Right. The link we just shared is actually not the subcommittee. We will definitely find that individual link and send it out to everybody today because tonight's the night, right? To make your comments.
Yes, and again, there'll be another opportunity. This is just the subcommittee, so if it gets out of here, it'll go to the full committee, and then of course to the floor in the House. So we've got a couple more rounds to go here, but this is an important one. This is round 1.
And have they corrected in the language of the bill the word biodegradable?
No, and again, that was one of the reasons why I was on the phone so long with Delegate Guy. The language that's in there, we would prefer it not be there, but she's worried at this point about messing with it, with the bill. She's concerned about it. If we try to amend it, that'll be just one more reason for somebody to maybe not want to bring it on. And it still has the language about it biodegradable. It has to degrade within 5 minutes or something. And so even though the language is not good and none of us really like it, there's no product out there that can possibly meet that standard. So despite the fact that it makes the bill a lot more complicated than it needs to be, I don't think it's a deal breaker. And because of her concern about attempting to amend it or modify it right now, I really think we should just leave it. And that's hard for me to say, but I think we should leave it just because of her concern about doing anything to the bill. She's, for whatever reason, and it's probably a political reason, she's a little worried about her bills, her particular bills that she's patroning, and she doesn't want to, rock any boats right now. So we have language in our talking points and in other areas that talk about why biodegradability does not really mean anything in the context of the environmental damage that these balloons are doing. And the reality is they don't really biodegrade in any meaningful time frame. So if they biodegrade at all. So, but given all that we've learned and what she said, I don't think we should try to amend the bill at this point. Now, things may change maybe in next week, but for right now, I mean, I'll still make a comment about it myself. I already submitted my comments last night. I certainly pointed out the biodegradable piece, but again, she said if somebody else makes the amendment to it and everybody agrees, that's fine. She doesn't want to have to do it herself. And I think from a political point of view, I have to accept her thoughts on it. And I think that's probably the way to go.
Great. And Mark, I also just shared in the chat box for everyone a link to a brand new article. Actually, it's going to be officially published next month, February, but some scientists put latex balloons in freshwater and saltwater and different environments and found in fact that they do not biodegrade in the period of time that they were testing. So
that's a great article.
Yeah, just another resource.
Great article, and I really like their summary. You know, in their summary, they basically summarize that balloons behave just like other plastic waste in the environment. That's one of their summary conclusions, and that's, you can't say it any better than that, really.
Great. Well, wonderful. Any questions for Jim or for Mark about the polystyrene or the balloon bills?
I have a well, it might be a comment and or a question. I don't know if anyone else saw recently Virginia State University, or maybe it was Virginia Union. They lost a staff member. Very sad, but they let balloons go in his honor just the other day. And, you know, if I know someone over there, or if you don't know someone, how would you approach that? I mean, it sounds like an odd thing for me to be asking you all, but from that perspective of wanting to be, and we have the facts and things, you don't want to slap someone's hand. You want to do it in a respectful way. What's your recommendation there?
Who wants to jump in? Well, I mean, we've encountered these situations before. All of us have, of course, and we have, depending on the type of event and ceremony or whatever that it might be. Obviously, there's different ways and different things that people might consider. But we have reached out to groups and organizations. There were a number of colleges that had mass balloon releases as part of their, social event calendar, whether it was the first football game or whatever it was. And we've had success reaching out to them with information and getting them to back away from that. Of course, it also points out, why it's really important for this bill, because once it becomes clear that it's not legal to do it, people will then look for other alternatives, and there are a lot of other good alternatives. And I'll let either Katie or Christina jump in about or Virginia Whitmer jump in about the good alternatives to balloon releases. And there you go. You're muted, Katie.
Thank you, Mark. As you pointed out, Tracy, it's very difficult once an event's already happened, or once an event has been already planned and people have already purchased the balloons and they've already told everyone that they're going to have a ceremony or celebration with a balloon release. So there's this website that was actually created by Virginians, although it's international, preventballoonlitter.org, and it should be on the screen right now, but it shows alternatives to ways to celebrate, ways to remember, and ways to honor. So getting this word out ahead of time is just really important. And I wanted to point out too that this was all based on lots of research with people who actually do plan balloon releases. We talked to them and said, why balloons and what are you thinking and feeling as the balloons go up into the sky? So the language on this website has been very thoughtfully put together based on feedback from people who like to release balloons. Words like joyful, picture perfect. We found out, for example, at weddings, one of the main reasons people release balloons is because they want the beautiful photo in their photo album of the balloons going up. So any rate, this is a great website, and it's got partners from all over the world. We've got partners from Africa and all over the US. And let me see if I can find that about us partners. And I think Keep Virginia Beautiful is one of our partners too.
We definitely have shared this website, this link before. You feel like you need to do it, almost quarterly when these wedding people are planning. You just hope they see it, before they go through the effort. And I only call out that one example because I know we've actually given them grants for other amazing work that they're doing, cigarette litter prevention stuff that they have built a drain that catches the cigarettes, and they found that it was getting clogged up, and then we had to come up with a solution, and the grant helped them solve the problem. And so we know that they're green-minded. It just is trickling down to all those different layers, and it's just more of the touchy part of the handling it.
Well, it's a good point too, that very few universities in their student handbooks say, most student handbooks on universities say we do not tolerate littering, but some are adding the words, this includes balloons, sky lanterns, and confetti, because that sparkly confetti that people throw is basically microplastics. So maybe that's something that some of our members can look into, is getting more schools to explicitly put the word balloons, sky lanterns, and glitter into their anti-litter policies.
Good idea.
Any other thoughts or comments for Mark or Jim about the bills?
Katie, I would just recommend that in addition to entering comments through the portal on the House of Delegates side, email your own delegate, especially if they're on the committee. Email your own delegate, and then when it reaches the floor, email your delegate again. And when it reaches the Senate, email your senator.
Thanks, Jim. That's really important, because at some point, if this bill, as we hope it will, gets all the way through, everybody will have a chance to vote on it. So it's really important that we get some broad support. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jim and Mark. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So just as a reminder, because I know some of you might have to hop off here shortly, please make sure that you put your name and your organization in the chat room, so we do have a list of everyone that participated today. Because if you don't, then I get to watch the video again and try to identify everybody. Okay, so let's get back to Keep Virginia Beautiful. They wanted to give us a little update on Shiver in the River. And then after that, we're going to talk about the 2021 plans for this network. So I'd love to have you stay on if you can.
Awesome. I will try to go real quick. Hey, everybody, it's Tracy from KVB, and I'll let Mike pop in if he wants to say anything else. We're both on today, but Shiver in the River, for those of you who do not know, I don't think we've ever mentioned it in this group, at least in the last COVID year. Used to be our biggest fundraiser. It happened at the end of February, where we get together for a cleanup, a 5K, and then a jump in the river. Always a lot of fun, but very Richmond centric. And so this year, taking into consideration everything we still have to go through to get back to normal times, we've augmented the event to call it Shiver in Virginia. And really what that allows everyone to do is take part, no matter where you live in Virginia. And basically it's a month-long effort where we're encouraging everyone to go out and do beautiful things, such as pick up a bag of trash, start your spring garden, do some composting, take your recyclables to the center, a number of things which we will obviously feed the public on a constant basis through social media to try to get them engaged in it. The real crux of it is to clean up our communities. The way to get more engaged in the effort with an app we have is to give us a donation. There's a donation of $20.21 that gets you a free Virginia State parking pass. So there's that value that you get for it. And then you get to take part in a tracking app that every time someone does a beautiful act or a good deed, a green deed, all you have to do is log it, and it collectively takes us on a path around Virginia together, cleaning as a group and making it beautiful and ready for everyone to get out and enjoy in the spring. Along the way, there are going to be contests and giveaways for really cool prizes, like a cabin at Bear Creek State Park, outdoor gear, canoe and kayak guided trips, lots of fun things to keep people engaged. But the real point of the effort is to get everyone outside, recognizing the very simple things that it takes to benefit Virginia and keep it beautiful, and then turn it into a habit, that it's not just, because if you do something for even 2 weeks, it becomes a habit. So we think if everyone will get out and do something for 30 days, that it'll be a habit that you'll want to get out, and every day of every year, make every day Earth Day. So that's it in a nutshell. I would love it if everyone, it's not open for registration until February 1st. So you can register, make that donation. The code will go out to get access to the app about a week before the campaign launches, which is on February 27th, and then it carries on for a month. Sounds confusing, but all that's on the website, and it'll become, kind of real clear how easy it is to participate. We've heard from a lot of people that are just, kind of waking up and going, okay, well, it's 2021, but we're still COVID. What are we going to do this year for Earth Day? And this is really a good opportunity for you guys to grab on the coattails of this effort. There really isn't a cost to participate. It's a campaign that you can get behind without that. Of course, we do hope that there's a donation behind that, because we're trying to replace our biggest fundraiser. But again, at the end of the day, the effort is cleaning up the state, border to border, really getting everyone involved. Does anybody have any questions? Awesome. If we'll update people through, we don't send out emails ad nauseum. Usually it's once a month. When we get close to an event like this, it might be once a week at the most. So it's a good way to keep up with the progression of that event and new things coming up. So I hope you join our mailing list if you're not already on it. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Tracy, we do have a question. Where is the sign up for Shiver on the River? Where can you do that?
So if you go to keepvirginiabeautiful.org, under our events program, and until the actual registration goes live, we're not going to make it the call out, because there's not really anything for anyone to do once they go there. But if you go to our website, there is Shiver in Virginia under our events. There's a little pull down menu, and it explains the event and the timing, and we'll be posting who these prizes will be coming from and that type of thing. If any of you all are in a business or know of a business that would like to contribute to something like that, obviously it must be green, very eco-friendly, that kind of thing. We'd love to talk to you about that. We're collecting all that kind of stuff now, working heavily with state parks and tourism and Virginia wineries and breweries that are Virginia Green Travel partners and all that good stuff. So thanks.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy. And you know what would be a great use of our website is to post your event in the forum.
Yes, please.
So if you guys, as members, you all are more than welcome to post forums, start conversations. I don't know if members can post events, but you can certainly put it in the news section or in the forum section. And if you do want us to create an event page for something like this, send us all the details and we can do that on the website as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so we're at 3 o'clock now. We did want to talk about, we didn't really have a special topic, so to speak, for today. For those of you who are new to this call, we usually spend about the last half hour, 40 minutes talking about a specific topic, and we have guest speakers. And so looking forward into 2021, what we wanted to do today, since it's the new year, is talk about since we've had these 6 meetings now, talk about any changes that we might be, that you all and us as a group want to make, or if you have any ideas. If you read the email that I sent out, I kind of listed a few things I wanted to talk about and get your input on. The first thing is, of course, right now we're just a website and a Zoom meeting. So does the Virginia Plastic Pollution Prevention Network need to expand into social media? Would there be a purpose behind it? Would this be, what would it look like? Would it just be, for example, a Facebook page that shares all of your articles and events and updates? So it's kind of just a place for anything plastic pollution related throughout the state of Virginia. You could go to that page, or do we feel like it's necessary? What outlets would be best for what we're doing here? And who wants to help me?
So to break it down, let's just ask Facebook, yes or no? Should the group have a Facebook presence, or is that redundant?
Sounds like no. All right, moving on now.
Well, this is Virginia. Sorry, I didn't get to the unmute button earlier during the conversation about the preventballoonlitter.org website. I was actually doing some double duty and sending out some material that's needed to discuss the new strategy for the Mid-Atlantic balloon release reduction campaign this afternoon. And part of that strategy will include, and it's focused on actually working with our aquariums to reach our broader public audience with the message. So including Virginia Aquarium, of course. And part of that strategy is going to be a social media kind of plan. So my hope would be that the messaging, that the infographics and that messaging that's generated by this new campaign, and also what we have available already for preventballoonlitter.org Facebook page, if all of our partners could help really to like and distribute those new posts that'll be generated, and the messaging, the imagery. That's some new imagery that'll be generated as part of this Mid-A campaign. So if we can all, if all of our followers can see the consistency in that messaging, and that we're all working together and we're all voicing, those same messages consistently, those messages consistently, that would be really great. Be a wonderful, I think, way for this group to help out with those campaigns.
So you're saying if we had a Facebook page for this group?
Well, if the partners in this group, because I think, and one of the first things I was going to ask is, I know that we have the partner information on the website, the network's website. And that includes whether you have social media, whether you have a Facebook, an Instagram, what social media do you have in place for your organization? What I mean, Katie, is that if these posts and things that we're generating as part of the campaigns could be shared by our partners on their existing, through their existing social media. That's, just something I wanted to throw out there. So I don't know necessarily whether the network itself should have one. I know, and I'm sure all of the rest of you commiserate on how hard it is to keep up with social media. I think you have to very carefully consider whether you want to generate new accounts and, given the amount of time that it takes to maintain those accounts. And I think we have a lot of really great sites already out there. We have a lot of great social media sites out there that can really help convey, again, this information, this messaging that we're generating through the campaigns consistently. So
Well, I
that's
think
something I wanted to throw out there. And the other thing is too that we do have a new, so to help facilitate, for example, the network partners sharing the availability of the preventballoonlitter.org website, we now have a new logo for that website that that we can provide so that that you can link to the website with that logo. And there are fact sheets that are going to be loaded next week to that site on highlighting balloon impacts, one fact sheet highlighting balloon impacts, and the other alternatives. Basically, those are fact sheets that with information that are is on the site, but it's fact sheets that can be printed and distributed through another means or shared. The other thing, and this is somewhat related because I mentioned the Mid-A campaign. We are working, a number of partners on the call are working with a Mid-Atlantic Marine Debris Work Group. And that work group is, as I said, working on expanding the Virginia balloon release reduction campaign throughout the Mid-Atlantic, but we're also working with NOAA Marine Debris Program on Mid-Atlantic Marine Debris Reduction Plan. And that I think that it would be wonderful if perhaps, because Katie, you were asking about speakers, and Christina, that'd be really great to have Christy Kehoe from the Marine Debris Program at NOAA maybe talk a little bit about what that plan, how that plan is shaping up, and the opportunities perhaps for, there's going to be a lot of work to do. So, there's always a call for partners to help with, help with all the different kind of work, the goals and action items that are going to be in that plan.
Right. Well, I'll point out too that in conjunction with a Mid-Atlantic Marine Debris Reduction Plan or Action Plan, we're also working on updating the Virginia Marine Debris Reduction Plan. So yeah, there's definitely ways that everyone on this call and all members can contribute to both of those. I also wanted to point out that while you were talking, Virginia, we had a couple of people vote in the chat box endorsing the idea of Facebook. Someone from the aquarium and Chesapeake Bay Foundation and others think that a media presence could be helpful, but it is time consuming. As we all know, any of us who run multiple Facebook pages, but it might be a good way to drive the public to our website. We really do want our website to be the place where the forums are, the discussions are, the sharing of resources, but the fact that people might learn about the website through a Facebook presence if it's open to the public. Are there any other comments about whether or not this group, this network, should pursue social media? And are we talking just Facebook or something more than that?
Hi, it's Nikki. Unfortunately, I have some people that are involved in our events or, a part of the discussion through Facebook, and I keep a presence for search purposes on many other, but I mostly communicate through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now that the campaign is off Twitter and the presidency, we'll be able to get some more stuff through, I think. one of the ways, I mean, because we're a small organization, we're 4 people. So yeah, there are ways to get around and make it easier. If you use Constant Contact, which I think I saw on somebody's menu bar, you can actually schedule some of your social media posts through Constant Contact. Like I will take our newsletter and put it on the Facebook page. And then people come back to the website from that. So there's a way to do it that doesn't overload you, but it's definitely some people, that's the only way they communicate is through. I mean, I have people reporting their pickups through Facebook.
Hmm.
So it's a necessary evil, but there are ways to make it less soul sucking. I guess would be the way to put it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nikki. Yvonne, you had your hand up too.
Yes, except mine isn't on social media. I struggle with social media, so I'm gonna stay out of that one. I did want to, I don't know if this is if it's okay to go back to what Virginia Whitmer was talking about with the NOAA and marine debris. And I just wanted to ask if, so I was curious about, I've been talking to VIMS and Donna Bilkovic there, and there's been this initiative through NOAA, I believe as well, to pick up the ghost crab traps. And I know this is a Virginia forum, but I was wondering if Virginia Whitmer knew anything about what's going on in Maryland, and is there collaboration between the 2 states and that happening? I don't know, Virginia, if you say anything, or we can contact you offline.
Yeah, Maryland, I'd be happy to get you some more specific information, but Maryland is on that marine debris, that Mid-Atlantic marine debris work group, is at the table to develop the Mid-Atlantic marine debris reduction plan. And I know derelict fishing gear is in that plan. I don't recall exactly what's said, what is outlined at this point as far as goal action items.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the top 4. One of the top 4 goals in the Mid-Atlantic is derelict fishing gear, including crab pots and clam netting, which is a bigger issue in Virginia.
Yeah. So it is going to be an, emphasis is really going to be more, is going to be placed on, certainly on more collaborative effort in dealing with that to the degree that's possible to do it on the scale that we're looking at.
There's also a group, Marco, which is considering putting in for the FY22 grant from NOAA's Marine Debris Program that will focus on derelict fishing gear. But the discussions have not even begun on that. I think the first meeting to discuss that is like next week or the week after that. But yeah.
I'm going to bring this conversation back towards what we were originally trying to discuss, which is 2021 for the network. If you guys want to chat offline or after we finish our discussion, because we only have 15 minutes left.
Yep, absolutely. Questions help inform, so I'd love to chat offline.
Yes. Okay, so it sounds like everybody thinks, not everybody, but a lot of people think that a Facebook page would be a great idea. So if you are volunteering to be an administrator of that page, please put your name in the chat box. Because I think maybe we can, if there's 2 or 3 of us working on it and just making sure it's up to date, we could come up with a social media plan. If it's 1 post a day, or if we're all keeping an eye out on information from different parts of the state. So every part of the state is being represented on this page. And of course, making sure we're directing people back to the website, that would be great. And also increasing membership for organizations that have not yet joined us. So does anyone else have a comment on social media before we move on? We'll just start with Facebook, and if that seems to be a successful thing, then we can look into maybe Instagram, because they're pretty much the same thing. They're connected, so you can post to Instagram and it'll go to Facebook. But that, again, is a whole other animal, including photography and things, more posts. So it's not as easy, I guess, to share. Where on Facebook, I can go to Shenandoah Green and they've posted about the whale going to a new school, and I can just easily share that. That doesn't happen as easily, I don't think, on Instagram. So maybe we just start with Facebook and see how that goes. Revisit that idea in a few months and see how that's going. Does that sound okay?
Christina, I'd be happy to have a conversation at another time to talk about some tactics and help you out.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so for 2021, our meeting format, basically what we've been doing for the last several meetings, we've kind of gotten ourselves into a groove. We do a little quick intro, then we introduce or allow new members to introduce themselves. Then we have longer slots, a 3 to 5 minute slot for more in-depth introductions or updates or event updates. And then we seem to be right now anyway with this legislative update, because General Assembly, that won't be around, I don't think. And then we have our special topics in which we bring in our special speaker and try to spend at least 30 minutes doing that. And today our timeline was completely wonky. And, you know, we kind of got off schedule a little bit, but overall, does that seem like a good format? Are we missing an element that you all would like to see on a more consistent basis? Do we need to make that 3 to 5 minute intro or those 3 to 5 minute talks in the beginning longer? Is it helpful to have new people introduce themselves? What are your thoughts, if any? If there are no thoughts, we'll stick to what we're doing. I see a thumbs up. Nikki, it looked like you were talking. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. That's good. So forum topics, your assignment for this month is to go to our forum page and post something. And if there's a topic, so I've created all these pages in the forums for different topics. So you can find, you know, what you want to post about, your overarching topic. So for example, legislative items and then balloons. If there is a menu item that's missing, please let me know and I can add it to the website. So I think we have like education, and we have items of special interest, and we have cleanups and cleanup data, things like that. So if there's something missing from that menu, and all of you are going to post something this month. Okay. Increasing membership, I think, through social media, that might be a good way to start. Does anyone else have ideas on increasing membership, getting more organizations involved? Or if you go through our membership list and you see that there's an organization that's not there that should be, would you be willing to reach out to someone you might know who's in that organization and try to get them involved? We have about 65 members on the website right now. And it's great. They're from all over the state. You guys are so quiet. Because we've got it down, right? We're perfect. Tracy?
Late in the afternoon. I think maybe if everybody looks at the list and sees, you know, who might be missing. When I see 22 participants, there's a lot of people that are not here. So I probably need to go refresh my memory of who is a part of it and who is not. And then maybe that's a good tactic to see who we can invite. Nikki's new, we'll get new people each time if we do that, review the list frequently.
And I should point out too, this is not the only opportunity in 2021 that you get to suggest improvements. Since we're new, we just wanted to make sure that we devoted part of today to asking these questions. Is it working? And the announcements, every month we're sending out an announcement that people can share anything. So far, I think we've had 5 or 6 announcements per monthly email. Is that valuable? How could it become more valuable? because we always thought that the biggest value of this organization are the calls, the website with the forums, and then the emails with announcements. So any thoughts on the monthly announcements?
I don't have thoughts on the monthly announcements. I'm just going to be the squeaky wheel and ask if the meeting time is going to stay the same.
Good question. Let's just jump to that question, because we know now that you've got a meeting the same date and the same time.
Yeah, those got set with the localities or from the localities, and the hazard mitigation plan, we've got like 8 months left to complete it or something to turn it in. So I've got to be on those, and I didn't know they were going to conflict until the times changed and the localities chose this time after we switched it. So I apologize.
Well, of course, it's never going to fit for everybody, but does Tuesday afternoon work for most people? Should we switch to another day of the week, or will that introduce new problems? Any thoughts?
Tuesday afternoon is good. But if we change to a different week, will that solve the problem? A different.
I could do a
different week.
Tuesday of, different Tuesday week of Tuesday. Yes. However you get around that statement.
Tracy,
Well,
you're nodding your head too.
Well,
A different Tuesday, second Tuesday, fourth Tuesday, second Tuesday. Fred?
yeah, well, I was just going to point out that if you're asking this group here today, we're probably all good with this with this day. It's really, I'd be curious what the people who haven't been showing up, what they might think. And so you might come up with a way to send a note out to them and get an alternative for them, you know.
Could you send out a doodle poll or like a Google Forms to survey everybody?
Sure, we could do that. We could either try the second Tuesday of the month instead of the third.
I actually have a recurring Earth Day network call second Tuesday at 2:00. But that's just me. I'm the one person.
We heard from a number.
Switch to 7 a.m. We're good, right?
Oh yeah. You don't mind me in my pajamas and half awake.
Hey, this is the day of Zoom, right?
Well, we did hear from several people that that earlier afternoon is better. We used to be meeting at 3 to 4:30, and I know a lot of people who go to work early. That's like their happy hour already. So, all right, so we'll send out a poll and see if moving to another day of the week, but we will avoid the second and third Tuesday of the month at 2 p.m.
Fifth Tuesday.
Thanks, y'all. I want to be a part of this so badly, and it's.
We want you
to wrench in things, but
we want you here too. So, so we've got like 6 minutes left. Christina, what else is on our questions to ask that we could possibly cover?
So we have 11 more months. That means we need 11 special topics that you all want to hear about. Right now, the list that I have is skip the straw programs, cigarette butt litter programs, plastic pollution education, fishing line recycling programs, plastic bag fee, local progress, which I think we could probably do towards the middle of the year when localities start trying to pass that plastic bag fee. And I think Virginia and Katie, you all were kind of alluding to the fact that maybe we should have Christy Kehoe on here from NOAA to talk about the Mid-Atlantic and the Virginia Marine Debris Reduction Plan and their progresses. So that's 6. I need 5 more.
What about someone to talk on this regionally specific marine animals and even like tidal animals, migratory birds that nest in those regions, the effect of the pollution on them, or ways to share that information with some of our eco tour guides, things like that.
Okay.
So wildlife.
Good.
Can I ask you a question on the Keep It Beachy Clean, Christina?
Uh-huh.
Is the straw campaign still going for them?
It's kind of been put on pause, but I know Lacey's about to pick it up for me.
Oh, cool.
And
Right.
yeah, so
Well, I'll
that,
get up with you outside.
you know,
of this
maybe
area.
that's one of the earlier talks that we do, because I know there is some interest in starting to work on that issue again. So maybe that's our February or March topic.
Yeah, that sounds good, because we were trying to do something for it with Greenworks and Waste Watchers on the shore, what, about 8 months ago, and then COVID and
yeah,
obviously restaurants and going to all the restaurants and visiting was not.
yeah. They're still reeling from all of this. And I know DEQ and Megan and Virginia Green have been working on a straw program, and Katie Longwood has the Kick the Straw. So maybe that's February. Maybe we would look at straw
Aligned
programs.
well with the General Assembly with the short session too, some of their styrofoam bills.
Okay. Any other topics you can think of that we should add to our shopping list of topics?
The personal protection equipment problem.
Okay.
I mean, obviously latex gloves are like balloons, but the masks and what kind of effect that's having.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As a new
maybe we
thing.
should do that one sooner. Maybe that should be a February one. All right, great. Other thoughts or comments? And we could also do educational ones. It's not just sharing, but we, like you mentioned, we could talk about endangered and threatened animals and how they're impacted by marine litter and plastic pollution.
I do have someone from our local restaurant association who's willing to talk about that side of the EPS issue, how restaurants are dealing with, you know, it's all fine and good that we get this law passed and we ban styrofoam to-go boxes, but that's affecting a lot of businesses and their bottom line. So I thought it would be good if you all think it would be helpful to hear from the restaurant industry about you know, how that's affecting people that own businesses. Okay.
I would love to hear about that, Christine. And something we wanted to do last year before COVID hit was get some funding for the Greenworks Committee and Waste Watchers, which is the KAB affiliate, to go around to restaurants and develop a plan. Develop a plan where we could coordinate a deal between the wholesalers of compostable and environmentally friendly takeout containers, so that they would ultimately be similar in cost or cheaper than buying the styrofoam, to help deter that. The restaurant owners would be key in.
Yeah, and I think that's what this person has been trying to do, is coordinate something like that, and it's been proving to be difficult.
Right. I know Washington, D.C. tried that to basically buy huge quantities so that there was a price break. And yeah, so we could learn the challenges and how they had some success from the DC group. Well, we need to wrap up. So I think we kind of got through the agenda for today almost. If you have more ideas on people to speak or topics to speak on, please let us know. Get on your assignment for the month, which is posting to a forum choice. We'll get a Facebook presence going. Any quick last minute announcements to share? And don't forget that you can send us your announcements and we'll put it in the email that goes to everybody, not just the people on the phone call. Any last minute announcements?
And make sure your name and organization is in the chat room, please.
Sorry, Virginia, again, the announcements in the forum are great, and I will add some of the stuff I mentioned earlier to those two places. But one quick save the date is for the Mid-A, which is really the Virginia Mid-A combined kind of Marine Debris Summit, July 20 through 22, and that'll be a virtual summit.
Like 20 through 22.
20 through, oh yeah, 20, what did I say? It's, yeah, 20 through 22, yeah.
20 through 22 of July, Mid-Atlantic Marine Debris Summit. And that will probably be 2 or 3 hours each of those days, not 3 solid days.
Yeah, manageable, yeah.
Any other announcements people want to make? If not, send them to us and we'll share them with everybody.
And this meeting, if you want to go back and watch it again, will be posted on our website sometime in the near future.
Yes, it will. Well, if there's no other comments from anybody, thank you again so very much for our 6th meeting. It's been great seeing all your faces, and we will talk to you next month, maybe at the same time, same place, but maybe a different time and date. Thanks, everybody.
From that.
Thank you both.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
for everything. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
What are you doing? Can you say hi to Auntie?